different states of matter act like. We're going to do a dance to make it work. So the first one that we need to remember about are solids. Solids, they don't have a lot of energy and they don't move around a whole lot. So they put their hands out like this and they're like, solid, 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 solid. Can I get you guys to do that too? All right, here we go. Solid, 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 solid. I can't hear you. Solid, 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 solid. Good job. Liquids are what happens when a solid heats up. Think about an ice cube melting on a table. So liquids, when they heat up, they get more energy and they move around a little bit more. So they're not like this. They're not like a solid that's like solid, 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 solid. Liquids, they have more energy and they move around a little bit more. So they're like this. Liquid, liquid, liquid. Can I get you guys to do that too? Stand on up. All right, there we go. So 3, 2, 1. Liquid, liquid, liquid. Good job. All right, gases are the next one we're going to talk about. Gases are what happens when liquid heats up even more. Think about a puddle on a table evaporating away and disappearing. So gases, they have tons of energy and they take up a lot of space and they move around really fast. So they're not like solid, 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 or liquid, liquid. Gases, this is their dance. Gas, 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 gas. All right, can I get you guys to do that too? Stand on up, find a little bit of space. Good, that's good right there. All right, 3, 2, 1. Gas, 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 gas. Good job. So we have our solids, liquids, and gases. All right, good job. Now that we've talked about each of those different states of matter, we're going to do a little game that'll help you remember how each of those different types of molecules act. So I'm going to call one out, and you're going to dance like that one. Are you guys ready? Do you guys remember what they all are? Nod with me if you think, yes, there we go, good. All right, count of 3, I'm going to call one out, and you're going to dance like that too. 1, 2, 3. Solid, 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 solid. Liquid, liquid, liquid. Gas, yes, 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 yes. Liquid, liquid, solid, liquid, liquid. Yes, 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 yes. Seats. Love it. Cool. Fantastic.
Welcome to Science Showcase, where we put the class in classroom. Today's subject, vitamins. So, the things we call vitamins is a group of essential nutrients that, along with some minerals, all people need to take into their bodies in order to stay alive and healthy. Our bodies can't make this stuff by itself, so most of it gets into our bodies from the food that we eat. But sometimes, if we ain't getting enough, your doctor might tell you to take a vitamin supplement. That's all well and good, but what even are these things anyway? Turns out, vitamins are organic compounds. Friends of the show might already know that compounds is just a whole bunch of elements stuck together. And these compounds come in two different flavors, if you will. And no, I'm not talking about those chewable Stone Age family tablets neither. So first of all, you got your water-soluble vitamins. Their crew consists of B1, thiamine, B2, riboflavin, B3, niacin, B5, pantothenic acid, B7, biotin, and B9, folate. You also got vitamins B6 and B12. These guys go by a bunch of different aliases, so it's easier to just use their code names, you know? And finally, the most well-known vitamin around, ascorbic acid, aka vitamin C. Now you may have noticed that I skipped a bunch of numbers there. That's because scientists eventually discovered that some of them numbered B vitamins they named either weren't considered to be essential for life or were found to already be made inside of the body, which meant they didn't meet the two requirements necessary to be called vitamins. Water-soluble vitamins are guests who prefer not to overstay their welcome. They waste no time going all around your body to everywhere they're needed, doing their thing to keep you alive, and then hopping on that kidney train heading straight out of town, if you know what I mean. Basically, if you take in more of these guys than you need, all you get in the end is some vitamin-rich pee. You also got your fat-soluble vitamins, beta-carotene, aka vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin K, and Mr. Sunshine himself, vitamin D. Now these ones is all grouped together because they prefer the long con, getting into your cells and sticking around your body for a lot longer. Because of that, you don't need to take in as much of these vitamins to stay healthy. And if you do take in too many of these vitamins, well, they could get real toxic. Luckily, it's pretty tough to get too much of these guys from just the food that you eat. So let's recap. Vitamins is important, and you need a whole bunch of different ones in the right amounts to stay alive and healthy. If you're already eating good foods, you should be fully stocked and ready to rock. If you're not sure though, always check in with your friendly neighborhood medical advisor before changing anything up. And there you have it, folks. Vitamins. Thanks for stopping by for this lesson and getting yourself just a little bit smarter. Now until next time, class dismissed.
Greetings, fellow scientists. My name is Jesse, and I'm a member of the Saskatchewan Science Center's Go Science outreach team. Now today, we're going to be talking about the path that food takes through our bodies. To do this, we'll be exploring the digestive system. Have you ever thought about how the food we eat gets turned into energy? Or what happens to the food that doesn't get used up by our bodies? Let's explore this together. Now, we know that the food that we eat has to go into a certain place to begin the digestive process. That's right, we have to put the food into our mouth. Now, our mouth has three main parts that help break down food. The first part is our teeth. Our teeth are good for chomping down on all the different kinds of foods and turning into smaller bits. In fact, we've talked about teeth before. If you want to see that video, check it out on our website. The second thing that helps break down our food is our saliva, or our spit. Saliva contains many enzymes that help break down food, but most importantly, saliva helps make our food wet, which, simply put, makes it easier for us to swallow it. Now, the last part of our mouth that helps with digestion is our tongue. Let me bring out this little tongue right here. Now, it may not seem like it, but our tongue helps us break down food by squishing it and moving it around our mouth, because the tongue is a muscle. When we swallow our food, it goes into our esophagus. The esophagus is a muscular organ that helps squeeze our food and transport it down to our stomach. Once the food's in our stomach, which is right there, it can be broken down by stomach acid, which scientists refer to as hydrochloric acid. This acid breaks down our food into a mush. But even though it breaks our food down, the acid won't ever break down our stomach because our stomachs are lined with mucus. That's right, snot. This helps give our stomach a barrier from that acid. Now, after our stomach acid has made our food into a mush, it's time to squeeze out all the nutrients that our body needs and help us get the energy from that food. Now, the organ that's best for this is our small intestine. So let me put these guys here. Our small intestine is something really special. Do you know how long our small intestine is? Well, it's called the small intestine, so realistically, it can't be that long, right? Let's see. Yeah. Whew. It's a lot of intestine. Whew. There we go. So, all of this stuff right here is our small intestine. Now, this might seem like a lot of intestine, but to get a better sense about how big it is, we're going to move into a bigger space and show you. Check this out. Look how long this small intestine is. I can't believe that you would actually call this small. Whoa! All right, let's head back down to the lab. Wow, the small intestine isn't really that small at all. In fact, it can be up to 6 meters or 20 feet long. That must mean that the large intestine is even bigger, right? Well, let's see. There we go. Well, that's weird. Well, actually, the small intestine is very long, but it's also very skinny, whereas the large intestine is short, but it's very wide. That's because the small intestine's job, like we said before, is to squeeze all the nutrients out of the food, and the large intestine's job is to collect any of the remaining solids and compact them together. It's also going to absorb some of the water from that food as it passes through. Now, we're at the end of our digestive tract. But wait, what happens to the compacted food when we're done with it? Well, if we think about it, what does happen to our food when our body can no longer use it? That's right. It becomes poop. Poop, dung, feces. All of these are words for the discarded solid material that your food becomes when it leaves your body out of, well, you know. By pooping, we complete the digestive tract cycle, and we can start it all again by eating some more food. Now, thank you for digesting this experiment with us today. You can check out other neat experiments by visiting SaskScienceCenter.com and clicking on the Real Science, Real Fun Online button. Until next time, stay curious, fellow scientists.
Hello everyone, my name is Sally Science, and I love it when you send in your curious questions for us to explore together. And today, I have a really sticky question from my good friend Brixton.
Hi, Sally Science. How do spiders make their web? Also, they're sticky because of a weird glue.
Thanks, Brixton. This is an awesome question. Would you believe me if I told you that spiders couldn't make their webs if there was no wind? It's true. Not every spider spins a web, but the ones that do are called orb spiders. And the very first thing an orb spider does to start building their web is cast some silk out into the breeze, like flying a kite or casting a fishing line. How cool is that? But first, let's talk about the silk they make and that weird sticky glue that you mentioned, Brixton. Spiders have a superpower. they can create a really, really lightweight, stretchy, and super duper strong type of string called silk right in their bellies. Or, as scientists call it, their abdomens. This silk is as strong as steel, and scientists think it may be one of the strongest materials on the planet. What? Inside a spider's abdomen are liquid silk molecules. Oh, there are those teeny tiny friends of mine again. Molecules are just everywhere. But I digress. These liquid silk molecules are a special kind of molecule called a polymer, meaning they link together in chains and are quite stretchy. You can also find polymer molecules in a balloon. It's the stretchy polymers that make a balloon able to stretch and inflate when you blow into it. Now, spiders have something on their back ends called spinnerets, and kind of like a spool of thread. And by using one leg as a guide and two other legs to carefully pull, the spider pulls the liquid silk out of their spinnerets and transforms it into a solid, lightweight, super strong silk string. How amazing is that? And as the string gets long enough, the silk catches on a breeze from the wind and it gets carried to the next branch. And some scientists think that the spider attaches its silk to the next branch with static electricity. Ha! Spiders seem pretty resourceful, hey? Fun fact, there are over 45,000 species of spiders on Earth, and scientists think that some spiders produce 5 or more different kinds of silk in their bellies for different purposes. How cool is that? Once the spider is sure that its first line is secure to the other branch, it walks underneath like a tightrope walker in the circus to the other side, pulling a whole bunch more silk out from its spinnerets, and that creates a big U shape. And then the spider walks down the side of the U and secures it to another part of the branch. And then it crisscrosses across the triangle, forming spokes like in your bike wheel, sometimes up to 7 or 12 of them, depending on how big their web they want to make. And then it starts from the outside and carefully sticks its silk to the spokes and works around and around and around and around in circles. They get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller till they reach the center of their newly woven spider web. And the last step, once the whole web is woven, the spider goes over it one more time and squirts out little microscopic droplets of a gluey substance that they produce in their stomach. Ha! Can you imagine if you produce glue in your stomach? Crazy! Fun fact, it takes most spiders an hour to make a new web from scratch, and they will repair it several times a day. Most spiders will go to all that work every single day or every night and make a brand new web. And some even recycle their webs and eat them up when they are done with them. How awesome is that? Making sure their webs are perfect is really important because a spider web is how a spider catches all the food, like flies and other insects that it's going to eat each day. Fun fact, a spider's senses are so sharp that it can tell the difference in the vibrations between a yummy fly landing on its web or if a leaf gets caught mistakenly. This week, friends, I challenge you to try making your own spider web with some string and maybe a branch that you find outside. And I'd love to see what great webs you make. Thanks so much, Brixton, for getting me to spiral through this question. If you have have a question you'd like to explore with me, please send it to me. I would love to hear it. I hope you all have a super duper day, friends. This is Sally Science, signing off.